Are you looking to promote your business? Perhaps a video for your website? Or maybe just a story to tell? If so, then you are a name to know. I am your host, Alicia Figueres, and A Name to Know provides a stimulating 10-minute interview for your business. For more information, give us a look at anametoKnow.com. Why? Because you are a name to know. Welcome, my name is Alicia, and we are here with a name to know, definitely a name to know. Yolanda Robano Gross is from Options for Community Living. Welcome to the show, Yolanda.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, this is great. I've known Options for over 20 years. I knew it back in the early 90s, and today's a whole different monster. So talk to me about the agency.
Absolutely. Options is great. We're a mid-sized not-for-profit agency based out of Smithtown. With satellite office over in Hempstead, so we cover all of Nassau and Suffolk County. We serve two strong target populations, mostly people with chronic physical and mental illnesses.
Okay.
We have two major departments. One is our mental health services. Mental health services has the entire continuum of housing for people with a mental health diagnosis, from people who are coming out of restrictive settings and really need a 24-hour supervised settings, up to and including a very, very independent, supported setting. And the goal is to work people through the continuum so they can get to a very independent lifestyle.
That's awesome. How do you get your referrals?
From the community, from the Office of Mental Health, from our colleagues in other agencies. Some people just come knock on the door.
I want to talk about mental health for a second. I work in the jail, and I work side by a psychotherapist, and I see more and more on a daily mental health issues. I mean, mental health issues that are just being pushed under the carpet. What's happening?
There's a few things going on. I mean, as everyone knows, we have changes in funding streams, and New York State is trying to balance out its budget. A lot of our individuals with mental health concerns either go untreated, services aren't accessible to them, they don't know where to go to get them. They end up caught up in the criminal justice system, so they get lumped in with everybody else, but they don't really belong there because, though I guess they're housed, there's no treatment there for them. So it's the wrong track for them. Oftentimes we get people who do their time in the criminal justice system, will be discharged either to the community, in a hospital-type setting, or to a shelter-type setting, or to a family occasionally. And then they'll come to us. And then they start the continuum where we hook them up with a treatment team and case management and kind of put them back on the right track. Their medication becomes better adjusted and monitored. They themselves learn how to handle it, how to manage it. The prime key is to get everyone to live as independent as a life as possible within their realm of capability.
Just looking at Long Island with the number of mental health issues, why only one agency in Smithtown?
Oh, there's multiple agencies in Long Island and in Nassau and Suffolk. That we have a lot of colleagues and a lot of sister agencies
that you partner with.
Yeah, absolutely.
But why only one Options?
I don't know. I would like there to be more.
Yeah.
Options was started, this is the beginning of our 34th year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Our founder, Diana Aarons, retired a little over a year ago, so I took over as executive director in October of 2014. So we serve Nassau and Suffolk counties. As I was saying, too, we have another half to our house, which is our Access to Care program. That's a little bit split in half. One side of that is housing in Nassau and Suffolk for people who are HIV positive or living with AIDS.
Okay.
So we have 69 houses and 177 people living in them. Some are family sites, some are what we call shared individual sites, so 3 people living in a house together. The other half of that half is something called Care Coordination, which is an amazing initiative, program, if you will, that's recently been set up in the last couple of years. We serve 850 people right now through that. And those are people who live in the community. They either are HIV positive or seriously mentally ill or have 2 other chronic conditions. So you can have congestive heart failure and diabetes, say. You get assigned a care coordinator, and it's kind of a step up to from the old case management model. They're there literally to coordinate your care. They're to make sure that your doctor appointments are organized and being met, and that your Medicaid benefits don't lapse, that you have your applications in for housing should you need it. So it's really a holistic approach, and it's an amazing approach, and it's one that's been a long time coming.
Very nice.
Because if someone doesn't have a roof over their head, they can't get benefits. Because if you don't have an address, you can't get benefits. It's a cycle.
Yeah, it is. It's like going up and down escalator.
Exactly. So it's been a great model, and we're very lucky to be a part of it. That being said, we have 850 people that we serve currently. But there's thousands on outreach lists that we go out to every day to see if they can be served by us, and if they can't, for whatever reason, if they can be served by another agency.
Is there a wait list for your services?
Not for care coordination. Housing is the tricky part.
Yeah, that's
housing
difficult.
Is on both sides, on the HIV housing and the mental health housing, and that's just not an options thing. That's a Long Island thing.
Right.
I can only speak to downstate. I've never worked past the city line, but from Manhattan and the boroughs and Long Island, property's very expensive. Rents are very high. After Sandy, the amount of apartments that were available went down very quickly.
That's right.
So housing is a tough nut to crack out here.
How has your journey been with options in the last year?
It's been exciting. It's been fun. Like I said, I stepped into some pretty big shoes. Diana built this agency. She was the lead on it. I don't think anybody expected her to retire, so there was quite a search when she announced her retirement. We spent the year or a little over a year, trying to really integrate the departments. That's been something that we've done a lot of this year and that I'm very proud of, to break down the silos a little bit. Okay. We see a big push in the state and in the industry where, again, a holistic approach, that you can't just treat someone's mental health issues or someone's physical issues. So for a long time, access to care was kind of over here, and mental health was over here, and Nassau and Suffolk, very separate. We've done a lot of cross-education for the staff in the departments to show them that there are other opportunities, and maybe instead of just thinking of moving in this kind of a line, that they can go to the left and then back to the right and grow that way. So that's been really exciting. We've done a lot of integrated. We put in something called an exchange program. So if I want to learn about accounting because I have a bachelor's in human services, but I want a master's in accounting, I can spend the day with the controller and kind of learn what's involved with that. So it's not like limited. Someone spent a day with me because they wanted to find out about administration. I have a care coordinator who is going for a master's in social work, but loves the grant writing development end of it. So she was able to spend a day with Denise, who is our development person that you know, and kind of learn how to write a grant and how that goes. So it's opened up the doors to give people the opportunity to see kind of how the other half lives. And it's been amazing, the difference in internal job applications and internal movement, which, my human resources people are making them a little crazy with that. But it's been a great opportunity for growth for people. So that's kind of nice.
That's awesome. Yeah. It's a huge compliment for you to be able to be the new executive director.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
Nice.
There's a lot of agencies where there's a lot of turnover and people come and go. But to step into the shoes of someone after 32 years, it was quite a compliment.
What do you do for your staff to keep with retention?
We've done a lot of morale building and team building in the last year, trying to support a lot of connected resources. I'll give you some examples. So February is Women's Heart Association Month.
Red dress.
So we did all the red and the group pictures and the heart-shaped donuts. It's very nice that Valentine's Day falls right in that same month. It was nice. 60 of us went and walked at Jones Beach in May for the Mental Health Association walk. So that was kind of exciting, and it was clients and staff, and it was staff from both sides. Suicide Prevention Month is in September. Color is purple. I don't know who picks all the colors for the months, but the color is purple. We had a lady named Kathy Leichter who had recently, she's a film writer, and she also is the child of someone who committed suicide. So she came in to show us her film, and it was the first time we set it up in our Hempstead office because she's from Manhattan, so that was easier for her. But it was the first time we were able to do a presentation in both offices with our new technology.
Nice.
So we had people in Smithtown able to watch and ask questions. So we really tried to boost our morale, and we do a fundraising event at, last year we did it at the Brokerage Comedy Club in Belmore, so this year it's going to be at Governor's, which they're under the same umbrella, but Governor's in Levittown is bigger, so we're going to the bigger venue, and that's on April 17th. And it's just a fun night. It's a great way to raise money for a good cause, and yet we laughed and we were there together. So it was a lot. We did a Chinese auction there also with the baskets. We did a Ducks game. It's been a really nice opportunity to bring the group together. I tend to have an open door policy. I worked in a residence, so I know what that's like. I know where the people are coming from. When we do the interviews, any full-time staff, their third interview is with me. Really not for approval, because by the time they get that far, they have the job. It's really more that I get a chance to meet them and they can hear about my thoughts on the company and what I feel, and I can learn from them also. So it's been quite a year.
That's nice.
Yeah.
How much support do you get from the local elected officials?
We do. We're an owner in an alliance recently called the Alliance Health Network, AHN. There is a group of like agencies that have have joined together to form this alliance. We're able to advocate as a group, which is great. There's always strength in numbers. Managed care is coming for mental health very quickly and furiously, so we'll be able to negotiate as a group. So we've gone out and spoken to some of the local elected officials. They've been there. You know, everybody's very sympathetic to the cause, which is nice to hear. We go up to lobbying day every winter. That's coming soon.
Yeah.
We get to meet with the elected officials. Our clients get to meet with the elected officials.
Oh, that's awesome.
And that's something, political affiliations or whatever aside, we're pretty lucky that we get to sit in these people's offices, whether or not they actually listen, but they're there, and they do listen. And it's amazing, more importantly, when they hear our clients' stories and how they take that to heart. I mean, the people on our MH side, the mental health side, they run the gamut of diagnoses, from people who are bipolar to people who are schizophrenic to people who are suffering from post-traumatic stress. We have veterans suffering from post-traumatic stress. We have really the whole gamut. And we have people who are educated and who had very typical lives until a point where, for whatever reason, they weren't able to maintain it.
Right.
And it's interesting to watch the politicians hear those stories, and I think it works wonders.
What's been the high point for you in this last year?
The walk was an emotional high point, the mental illness walk. We were there with, I can't tell you, thousands upon thousands of people. The color for Mental Illness Awareness Month is lime green. So there we were in the sea of green, watching people from, like I said, from staff to family members to clients themselves to family members that had lost their loved ones to mental illness. Emotionally, that was very impactful. As an executive director, we've gotten some new programs, which we've received through requests for proposals that we put in through the state.
Great.
New beds are always great to get, always more people to help. We're going to be we were just awarded through Suffolk County, really a pilot program for Western Suffolk, which is a mobile response team, not a crisis team. It's really a response team to add an extra layer of support to those that are in supportive housing. So it'll be made up of a nurse, a social worker, a case manager, and probably most importantly, a peer. Peers are a very exciting addition on both the HIV side and the mental health side, because this is someone that's a success story, and they've lived the life.
A living testimony.
That's right, and living proof that you can come out on the other side of it. So it's amazing, and that's such a great, and it's been around for a while, but lately in the last year or two, it's been a big initiative, and it's amazing. With the stories we get, when I interview a peer, you know, I've heard people say, you know, someone got me through it, so now, you know, I want to give back. And I have someone that works for us now who said, 15 years ago, I had received a diagnosis, and one of your staff, and the lady's still with us, saved my life. So now I want to be able to turn that around. And you can't even imagine the feelings. So this team will be there to support the people in our supportive apartments. And those are the most independent. They get seen by somebody usually once a week, depending on the need, but in general, once a week. They're at scatter sites, so these apartments, they're not apartments, they're houses, but apartment is the term. These homes are in the community, could be right next to yours, you would never know. Usually house 3 individuals. Someone comes in once a week, a case manager works with them, has their budgeting going, has their medication management go, whatever their skill is. Are you working towards getting a job? Do you want to go back to school? All the regular gamut. So this team will add some extra support. So now, if I'm someone that's really doing well with my once-a-week visit, but I'm still a little confused. I've got a new medication regime, and I could use some help trying to figure that out. Well, then the nurse will be dispatched to you for some added support. Things like that. So it's exciting, and it's brand new. It hasn't even, the ink's just dry on the contract, and we have a meeting coming up with the county about it, so it's exciting to be part of that.
Congratulations. That's awesome. Where do you see options for community living 5 years from now?
I hope still here and doing what we do, but maybe on a bigger scale. We're really trying to grow, but grow smartly. I've been in the course of my career with bigger agencies, with smaller agencies, and what I've learned, and I've had really great mentors, I'm very lucky. But that being said, you learn from both sides. And applying for everything isn't the answer. You want to apply for things that are new and exciting, like this program is something that's new to us, but it's something that we have expertise in. It's something that we have the right staff, that even though it's new, we have the right staff to get it up and running. You want to choose your growth so that you grow at a good pace, but not too much where you're overwhelmed, because the agency has to kind of take steps. And I would love to say, you know, we could jump from here to here in an hour, but it's not fiscally smart, it's not business smart, it's not good for the people we serve. So we're going to keep growing steadily and keep doing what we do. We're really, really good advocates for our clients. I mean, I started as a social worker, so that's where my heart is. We're good at sticking up for our people and, more importantly, showing our people how to advocate for themselves. I mean, that's the most important thing.
I'm really proud of the accomplishments of Options, and you know, you should pat yourself on the back. You're doing great work. I speak with a lot of female CEOs, executive directors, and they tell me that it's really hard to juggle family and leadership. How does that work out for you?
You need a good support system. I happen to be a single mom, but I was raised by a great single mom. So I had a good model. I have a fantastic, wonderful, soon-to-be 14-year-old 8th grader. She's a great child. I'm very lucky. We have all-county chorus in a few hours tonight. Good child, lucky. But that being said, you know, you run a company all day. You hit the ground running as soon as you get in the door. It's dinner and homework and play practice and, you know, religious instruction or wherever you got to go. But you make it work. I'm very lucky. I have a very strong support system. I have wonderful friends. I have family in the area. I have a mom and a dad that are always willing to help, and a stepdad who's just as great. So you need to build your support system around you. And I would say, more importantly, to use each other. I'll give you an example. It was spring break, I'll say 2 or 3 years ago. I mean, Morgan's older now, so She could be alone for the day if she wants or whatever, but probably about 2 or 3 years ago. So I called 4 of the other working mothers and said, look, if we each take 1 day off and take all 5 of the girls, and then when it's your day, you could take them wherever you, like I took them roller skating, it happened to be my day. And, you know, don't send money, don't send food. If it's my day, I'll feed them, I'll take care of them.
That's
I
neat.
understand you can drop them at 7 in the morning because you got to catch a train and you might not be back till 6 at night. But we all each only had to take 1 day off. The girls thought they were in heaven. They were
great.
with their friends all week. And for the 5 of us, we each only had to take 1 day off a week. So you have to use your support system,
Yeah.
which is something that we try and teach our clients. There's natural, I mean, there's artificial supports, no question, but you have natural supports in your community,
Right.
if you're lucky. Not everybody does.
That's right.
So use them. Be there for them.
That's awesome. Wow. Well, I really enjoy meeting you, learning more about options. In closing, what kind of message would you like to give potential clients?
For the potential clients, there's 2 messages. For potential clients, I would say, help is out there. It's not always easy to access. It's frustrating. Doors get shut, but we're there. Options is there. Our colleagues are there. If you want the help, we can get you to it. All you need to do is pick up a phone, and if you can't, knock at the door. If you get to the door, we'll get you in. And we can get you to, even if we can't help you, it happens often that someone comes and, you know, I came originally from a background for developmental disability services. So sometimes someone will call either because they remember the name or somehow they get to me. So no, Options doesn't do that. But I still have plenty of contacts that do. You have a family on the phone, you need to do your best, or that's my obligation, to get them to where they need to be, the client or the family. And I guess that ties into probably the most important thing that I'd like to get out there. It's amazing to me that we're in 2016 and things like HIV and mental illness have such a stigma still. No one wants to be sick. No one asks to be HIV positive. No one asks to be schizophrenic. No one asks to have diabetes or high blood pressure, for that matter. It happens. And it could happen to each and every one of us. It doesn't discriminate by gender, by race, by religion, by economic status. It happens. And if people could appreciate and understand that the people we serve are just like the rest of us, odds are if you walk down the block and pass one of my clients, you would have no idea. And the stigma's got to go away. There needs to be a point, not that you need to say this, but there needs to be a point where if I'm at a cocktail party and I say, I suffer from bipolar disorder, it gets the same response as if I say, I'm diabetic. It needs to get to that.
Right.
And I think that's what's most important, is that the people we serve are just that. They're people.
That's right. Yeah, we're all the same.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful message. Yolanda Rabano-Gross, I really enjoyed meeting you.
Thank you.
Give us your website and your phone number.
Sure. It's www.optionscl, so Options for Community Living, optionscl.org. And the number at the main office is 631-361-9020.
That number one more time.
631-361-9020.
There you have it, another name to know, Yolanda Rabano-Gross, Executive Director for Options of Community Living in Smithtown.